Hi there, it's Quilting Nerd, and today I would like to continue on using sinusoidal or wavy line with different elements, because when I made my last video I got some ideas. So today let's talk about a very special case of wavy line, and that's meander. And we can do so many different designs using a meander principle. So let's start today with basic meander. That will be just for warming up, remembering the moves, remembering the flow, and checking at the same time if the thread, tension, and if everything is working as it should. So meander is nothing else, only quilting the wavy lines up and down without hurrying, and just moving around your quilt. And if we look at the shape of the meander, there is always this part that goes up and there is one that goes down, depending on which side you are looking at it. But there is always, a concave and a convex part of the line, and it's just going up and down slalom like all around our quilt. Let's quilt a little bit more, and if you know how to quilt a meander, it means you can quilt a lot of quilts, because it is a nice fast overall pattern that can have many applications, and it's simply so relaxing and nice to quilt. So that's our basic meander. But what about this if we want to decorate it a little bit, add some embellishment, make it a little bit more interesting? And for that we have several different options. I was doodling yesterday and I have like 10 different ideas for you, and I hope today I can show you at least 4 of them. So let's start with the first one, which is very similar to C vine. So as we go and we do this turn here, we can immediately go in, create like half a small swirl, go back, and then continue with our line. Again, turn in, go back. It's important that we go back. And then we want, for example, to go in this direction. And how to do that? So we just swing, exaggerate the movement a little bit, and then again turn. Go back, and then turn in another direction. So it is meander, but with interruptions for making this one extra shape. It is important that you go back to this apex, to this highest point of your line, because then you can smoothly continue on. Go back, and then we can go back here again. And then let's go down. So you've seen here I wanted to turn back, so I made almost a U-turn before I turned into my next C line. They do not have to be evenly spaced, because sometimes we have to make those turns to control the direction where we are going. But the point is that they should come on a regular basis, those extra embellishments. It is a super light design. It would also work great in a line, like in a strip or sashing. And Meander is a basic for many other patterns. So once you know how to do that, you understand the mechanics behind this pattern. You can modify it depending what you're in the mood for. So that was the sea vine. That was our first. Now we can add something different. We can actually finish this movement and create like little fruit hanging from our meander. So let's try that one. Swing and then turning. Going back. You can actually make it smaller, then it's slightly different character. Let's fill this space. You see, I'm always coming back a little bit, so my addition is kind of hanging outside of the meander, and that's the one trick that is good to know. So this was a little bit here because I had to turn back. How the character of the pattern changes depending on the size, and actually I think with the smaller circles it looks better. It looks like little berries hanging from a branch. So I actually never quilted this one before. I was just doodling yesterday. And I'm very happy with how it looks like. Okay, directional challenge. Again. So that would be the third type of meander, overall pattern. second one with embellishment. Now we can continue with the round elements, and this time instead of a round one we can add some swirls, because they will be like natural extension of this what we are doing. A small variation. Some traveling is required. It's exactly the same principle. I am creating my element in this kind of an exaggerated space I created. Then I go back and I continue with the original shape of my meander. Meanders are great for covering large areas very fast, but who said that they have to be boring or simple or minimalistic? We can always add some crazy, like here when I don't have enough space, I can just move around here. You can do it also in rows, in a way like edge-to-edge technique, if in case you have problems to control the direction. You do not have to make it complicated. You can simplify it. So one or two more. So that would be the perfect end for a moment to finish with this meander with a swirl. And in a moment we will go on. I just have to finish my bobbin. I just have to change my bobbin thread. The thread is refilled. Let's finish with this one. And then we will start with the next variation for the meander. A little bit more minimalistic again, so we are doing the combination of the first one, and we are adding a little element on top. time I added it a little bit too late. So let's call it the Peacock variation. And let's go over the movements again. So we are starting with our wave, turn in, and shortly after traveling we will add this little decorative element of a pebble, going back, and continue. You can always make it more interesting, and you can add 2 of them. Then they will be even more decorative. Of course, this will then take a little bit more time. I'm still counting it as one variation. Here I have only space for one. This is fun. I always had problems with all those designs because I thought that they are so complicated and you have to keep so many designs in your head, so many elements. But actually it's all about remembering the sequence of the components, and that this has a very specific rhythm to it. Let's feel this one section more. So that would be the Peacock variation. It looks very nice, it looks very elegant. And now that would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th one, including the simple Meander. let's do one more, and the rest I will show you 1 week later. This one will be, we will try combine it with a simple fluffy flower, and let's see how this one will look like. So again, we are starting with a wavy line, and 2, 3, 4, going back, next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, merging the lines, this one can be a little bit bigger and has nice texture to it. We need always to leave space for the petals. Always the same principle. Let's quilt a few more, and then we will be done with the project for today. I showed you today 5 different variations plus the very basic meander. That's quite a lot to process, especially in this relatively short video. I don't know like you, but I actually learned a lot because I could test some of my ideas. This was actually fun. Each of these modified meander patterns can be used, has completely different character. So you can use them in many different projects, have the same kind of rhythm to your quilting, and have completely different look on your quilt. And as I said, they will work great as an edge-to-edge design, you can use them with small adjustments in flashings, in narrow strips. So now again the other bobbin is done because I was just using some leftovers. So let me actually finish it. I will finish it into something usable afterwards. And in a moment, let's go over once more the different shapes with zoom out. We're not in quilting modus, and I think this is actually pretty good close-up to compare the different patterns. Here we have the very simple meander. Then we had the first variation where we combined the meander with a very simple and thin half swirl. Let me grab some pointer. And it is important to get out before we will continue with our meander. So we are doing the swirl, we are going back, and then we continue. But look already at the difference between the simple meander pattern and the one combined with the simple swirls. As next ones, we used the small pebbles, like small fruits or berries hanging from the main vine. That is our meander. That's also completely different dynamic and completely different look. Just to make it a little bit more ornamental with dense swirls for more enhanced pattern and different contrast between those rich points of the swirls and very nice and thin and controlled meander. Then we had this, what I call the peacock, because of this little tiny point at the end of our half swirl. And again, what's the difference it makes when we are adding this little tiny defect? So that's the swirl with the little pebbles on top, and that's the one without. So it is way more elaborate and it's very elegant. And as the last one, the fifth design, that was the one with the fluffy flower instead of a swirl. And whatever you can like go back from this round shape, it's simply working very good. So these were the 5 designs for the meander. Each of them is very distinct, it's very different. And I think for the next video, I will be able to prepare for you 5 more. So probably my video will be a little bit at different times than I usually upload them, because life got way more chaotic than it is normally. So hopefully see you soon. I hope you like it, and happy quilting. I wish you a wonderful day. Bye.